Call the meeting to order, and I've asked Dr. Washington to lead us in the prayer pledge.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for bringing us together once again to do your business. Lord Jesus, we thank you for all of our administrators who love our children every day. We thank you for our parents, and we thank you for the students that you've given to us to care for. Lord, I ask that you help us to make decisions that will impact positively all of the children in our district. This I ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Ayo,
Present.
Mr. Baumgarten, Ms. Fontenot,
Here.
Mr. Hardesty, Ms. McReynolds,
Here.
Mr. O'Banion, Mr. Pichon. Here. Reverend Wallace.
Here.
Dr. Washington,
Present.
Mr. Natale, Mr. Bro, Mr. Castillo,
Here.
Ms. Gay, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Tarver. We have a quorum.
Okay, this is the curriculum and instruction committee meeting. Most of it looks like it's informational purposes only.
Yes, sir. Okay, so the first item we have for number one, I would like to discuss the calendar committee recommendations for the school year 2027, 2028. I would first like to start off by thanking each and every person that participated on this committee. We tried to get as many people as possible from departments across the district to participate. I know some of those people are here, so I would definitely like to recognize them. I'd like to start off by recognizing our superintendent, Dr. Jason Van Meter, our chief operating officer, Mr. Robert Barentine, our chief financial officer, Mr. Dennis Bent, our director of payroll, Mr. John Snyder, our administrative directors, Dr. Jubert, Ms. Jackson, Mr. Clanton, Mr. P, Mr. Tony McCardle, and also Ms. Wendy Hill, our director of MIS, Mr. Jerry Voss, our director of transportation, Mr. Aaron McDonald, our supervisor of special projects, Dr. Shauna Anderson, our supervisor of assessment and accountability, Ms. Dial Barentine, our public information officer, Ms. Holly Holland, our coordinator of teacher and leader support, Ms. Julie Spann, very important member of our CNI staff, Ms. Carolyn Thomas, Ms. Cynthia Hayes, who's a teacher at F.K. White, Ms. Brandy Trahon, who is our elementary principal of the year, Ms. Angela Guillory, who's our middle school principal of the year, Mr. Troy Fontenot, who's our high school principal of the year, Ms. Kayla Armentor, who is our elementary teacher of the year, Ms. Sarah Logan, who is our middle school teacher of the year, Ms. Nakika Colquitt, who is our high school teacher of the year, Ms. Carol Womack, who is our elementary librarian of the year, Ms. Carla Cradock, who is our middle school librarian of the year, Ms. Kelly Reshort, who is our high school librarian of the year, Mr. Zach Jones, who is the Quincy High School principal, Ms. Felicia Lewis, who is our program analyst in the MIS department, Mr. Samuel Baines, who is a part of the Louisiana Association of Educators, Ms. Terry Johnson, who represents the Southwest Louisiana Federation of Teachers, Ms. Lauren Harrison, who is the parent of our elementary and our middle school student of the year, who's also an assistant principal here at Arnett Middle School, Ms. Elizabeth Armentor, who is a parent of our high school student of the year, who's also a consultant in the high school department. And that is it. That is everyone who participated on the calendar committee. I also want to say that we did seek suggestions and input from various teachers, administrators, and just people across the district. Moving forward, I just want to say before we discuss the calendar, I just want to know that the recommendation came with making sure that we had 64,980 minutes met. Our district, we operate on a 380-minute day, so we were up to 63,720 with a difference of about 1,260 minutes, which equates to about 380 minutes per day, which is how we also want to go ahead and try to recommend it with our 4 emergency days. Just a couple of things to keep in mind that we follow to Bulletin 741, where we have to make sure that we have at least 182 work days. Moving forward to the calendar, points of emphasis, we're going to, for July, keep in mind, I know it was a little bit of confusion, but this is 2027, 2028, because obviously we adopted 26, 27 during the last time. But we will observe the 4th of July holiday on July 5th. And this came from a recommendation from school administrators on what days they would like to report and know what days they would commence as far as their school work year is concerned, so they can plan their family vacation. So that is now noted on the calendar. The first virtual day will be on August the 6th, with system-wide in-services on August 9th and 10th, school-wide in-service on the 11th and 12th, and the first day of the school year for the 27-28 school year will be on Friday the 13th, August the 13th. As we go through September, we know we only observing Labor Day holiday, October of 2027. We have another system-wide in-service, followed by fall break on October 11th and 12th, which is a Monday and Tuesday. Moving forward to November, it will not be a national election year, so we only observe Veterans Day on the 11th, with Thanksgiving break coming from the 22nd through the 26th. Moving to December, it was very critical in listening to the stakeholders' input that we kept a block 2 weeks for Christmas break. So Christmas break will start on December the 20th, going to December 31st, coming back in January of 2028. We'll come back to the in-service day on the 3rd, and obviously observing the MLK holiday on the 17th. Mardi Gras is going to be pushed back a little bit in 2028, so we will observe that holiday on February 28th through March the 1st. Moving forward to another in-service on March the 17th, coming back to Easter break, which will start on April 14th through the 21st. And then the last day of school for students will be on May 24th with a half a day, and then closing out with system-wide in-service on the 25th and 26th, observing Memorial Day on the 29th, and the last day for administrators would be on June 16th, and observing the Juneteenth holiday on the 19th. I will say that we did meet twice virtually with all the stakeholders that I listed before. We did have some changes from the beginning. Most of them were cosmetic changes, a date miss here, a date miss there, but it was pretty much a unanimous decision that this would be the best calendar for our district and for our students and for planning purposes for 2027, 2028.
I have a question. Several years ago, we implemented where the teachers have a day to work with pay in their classrooms without any in-service, without any PD. I don't see this on here.
You mean for the virtual day? That would be on the August the 6th, 2027.
Right. In August of 27, do the teachers have a paid day to work in their classrooms without any services?
On August the 6th, 2027?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, that would be the virtual day.
We do not hold in-services on those days.
Not even virtual, so it's a,
When we say virtual, what has to happen? When we say virtual, there are things that we have to do at the beginning of every year, trainings that we're required to do, that we used to do sometimes when teachers would come, we'd have to do them in a group. A couple of years ago, we started doing those virtually. We pushed those out a couple of weeks ahead of time. So if a teacher does those, the day that we push them out, they're free to do whatever on the 6th because the work that's required of them has been completed.
okay, just to make sure I understand. So this is a virtual professional development day, but the teachers have the option to do those in advance.
Yes,
So they have that day.
that is correct. Staff will not be pulling them or making them do something virtual on that
Every
day.
teacher at every school.
Every teacher at every school, we've done this for a couple of years now. Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay, thanks. Any questions? Alright. Thank y'all for all that work put in on that. School performance course. Thank you, sorry. Told y'all, Brooke.
I'd like to move that we accept the calendar for 27, 28.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Y'all have any questions? No questions? All in favor? Opposed? Good. Calendar passes.
Okay.
All right, next up, there's school performance list.
Yes, ma'am. So please bear with me because I want to be intentional in making sure that we highlight several of the schools who really shine this particular school year. So regarding our 2025 school performance scores across the district, I'm pleased to present the data tonight that clearly demonstrates that the C&I department is trending in the right direction. We have been making intentional pivots, building and refining new systems, and continue to align the work that we do daily. These results show a stronger leadership within the department, but more so inside of our schools, paired with strategic investments in instruction, intervention, and engagement that I think is making a real difference. We will continue building on foundations in order to keep this momentum that we have moving forward. This year, we tried to be very intentional in the way that we support. I will say that all the departments, from early childhood, elementary, middle, high school, career and tech, special education has been real supportive as far as on the ground supports. We've been living in the schools, and that's something that we've gotten better at than we have been in the past, but we've been very intentional in trying to support our students and especially our beginning teachers. I want to say that right at about 94% of CPSB students are now enrolled in A, B, or C schools. In the progress component, our state accountability system schools show that we've earned a C or better in at least 96% of our schools. Most notably, 6 of the CPSB's top 10 schools and overall growth has been in middle school. So special shout out to Mr. Clanton, middle school department, for them doing a phenomenal job in that particular area. I do want to highlight too that the district's top growing schools are listed as Benton Middle, Benton Middle. So hats off to Mr. Fontenot and his administration with a 6-point growth. R.W. Vincent Elementary, Ms. Brooks and her administration with 5.4% growth. DeQuincy Middle, obviously we have had an outgoing principal, now we have a new principal with Ms. Elbow with 5.4 growth. F.K. White Middle School, Mr. Kobe and his administration with 4.9. Molo Middle, Mr. Nicholas Johnson with 4.7 in growth. Western Heights Elementary, Ms. Lockhart with 4.6. Oak Park Middle, Mr. Giller and his staff with 4.4. T.H. Watkins Elementary, Ms. Caldwell and her staff with a 4.2 growth. So hats off to all those principals in that administration, along with those administrative directors, for actually doing the work. We truly appreciate them. In addition, 7 schools improved their letter grade 4, which was again in middle school. Those included were Frash Elementary, Kaufman Elementary, Moss Bluff Middle, Oak Park Middle, S.P. Arnett Middle, T.H. Watkins Elementary, and Benton Middle. This year, CPSB had 31 schools that earned top gains status. That was up from 18 last year. Top gains means that the school has earned a progress index equivalent to A and did not have any urgent intervention required labels for student groups or discipline. I thought that was really impressive for our schools. 10 schools were named to Opportunity Honorees, up from 4 from last year. That basically means it's recognition for being in the top 10% performance among students with disabilities, English learners, and those who've been classified as economically disadvantaged. So again, hats off to those schools for getting that. Also, 8 of our schools in our district earned both, and that was an increase from 5 just last year. Also, got to give a special shout out to Ms. Alcock and T.S. Cooley. They were named as one of the top achieving K-8 schools in the state of Louisiana. We also, as a district, had several schools who scored above 100, which is very impressive. And I want to start off again with Ms. Alcock at T.S. Cooley with an overall score of 114.8. Sam Houston High School, Ms. White, formerly Ms. Foltz, 105.2. Vincent Settlement Elementary, Ms. Oliver, at 103. Mr. Trahan at Westlake High School at 102. Freon Lake Elementary, Ms. Juno at 101.3. Borg High, Mr. Funno, who also just happens to be our high school principal of the year, at 100.7. And then at LeBlue Settlement, Ms. Brady at 100.3. So hats off to all those principals on the administration, because this is definitely some data to be proud of. I would also like to emphasize that while the state's new accountability system is truly changing and we get information every single day, I feel like the CNI department is going above and beyond to figure out how can we be successful and how can we improve the overall student outcomes for our babies in this district, excuse me. I also want to say this, and this is just food for thought, that currently our CPSB district performance score stands at 87.2. I truly feel with some of the things that we're doing and some of the initiatives that we have created as a staff, as far as like the CPSB coaching plan for our leaders, these intentional visits and analyzing data, also aligning what the state wants and inviting the state to come down. We've had so many stakeholder meetings right here in the district where we stand at 87.2. Please understand that we continue doing the work and growing our students who have been persistently struggling in some of these schools. We are very close to becoming an A district, so we're keeping our fingers crossed, but we also believe in the efforts that we're doing and the work that our employees who sit behind me are doing. I truly believe that we can be an A district very, very soon. Moving forward, I don't want to kill all the time, but I do want you to hear from some of our administrative directors. So first up, I'm gonna call up Mr. Owen Clanton, who is our administrative director of middle schools. I just want to point this out again. 10 of our 11 middle schools exhibited growth, with 2 becoming an A school for the first time. So, Mr. Clanton and your consultants, hats off to what you're doing. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks for letting me move up. No disrespect to any of my colleagues, but after I go, I'm going to bring them out of here so we can have a normal meeting. Thank you for that, Mr. Harvey. And I'd like to give a shout out to WW Lewis. They were 0.2 away from an A. And 0.2 really matters in a marathon. that 26.2, that matters if you run 26 miles, but then it also matters here too. So shout out to WW Lewis. They're just continuing to work. And on that note, we in the middle school department here, we are still focused on building capacity of the adults to build capacity of our children and increase learning. While we have a lot to celebrate, we know that we still have a lot of ground to go. So I'm very excited about the coaching professional development that we had last week. Every middle school administrator or curriculum lead has gone through, I would say, a proven coaching system. And now I'm excited to see how that translates back to teacher development, but through the lens of how are we focusing on the students, making sure that the data is moving forward. So very excited about that. And I would say just the effort, the overall effort and attitude of our middle school staff and students and administration. Last week I sent a little message to them, and you know, we do a lot of stuff in our profession. We do a lot of things. We're asked to do and to know a lot about our communities and our students and meet them where they're at. And the overall message was, you know, the two most powerful words in our language is I am, because whatever follows is what we become. And I just really want them to know, and I think all of us to know, that we are life changers. The work that we're doing, I can't wait for y'all to hear Dr. Anderson's update and what she's going to bring. The people in our schools are changing lives, and that's going to change our community. So I'm overall just super excited about the work that our people are doing and the way that our students are receiving it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clapp. We appreciate you. Next up, we're going to hear from Mr. Tony McCarter, our Administrative Director of Career and Tech. Also want to just say special shout out to Mr. McCarter. You've been monitoring his department. They're showing up all across the state and getting recognition. So I do appreciate him for his creativity and innovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Dear board members, it's my distinct honor pleasure to report on each division in my department. I'm going to first start with our CTE, the bread and butter of what we do, I guess, so to speak. And a large initiative that we've undertaken this year is offering work-based learning, our internships for our students. And we currently have 32 students enrolled in our program, which represents a cross-section of our student body across the entire district, with 16 additional coming on board that we've placed with our vendor, Career Compass, who helps us monitor each student where we go out to their jobs. We find them job placement, and they earn classroom hours and job placement hours. So we're looking at, right at 50 students in that program, and we're seeing great success with that program. Also, along the lines of career and tech ed, our enrollment across all campuses and at our sites, our CTE sites are at an all-time high. We've seen an enrollment increase of 50% this year. College Street, which is CTech East here in Lake Charles, is a 35% increase with 475 students. The Westlake CTech West campus is 181. That's a 100% increase. And we have 80 total T&I courses, trades and industry courses in Calcasieu Parish, with an enrollment total of 4,184 students in those courses. 1,000 of them are in agricultural sciences, 3,400 of them are in welding and the trades courses, carpentry, all those things, EMT, all the Adobe courses, culinary, all those fun things. 66 unique credentials that our students have the opportunity to earn here in Calcasieu Parish, that will take them to post-secondary trade school or post-secondary job in post-secondary. So again, that's credentials where students are going into culinary, welding, any of the trades, the ambulance. We put students on the ambulance the day after graduation. Lots of credentials. There are 66 of those, and we're one of the largest in the parish. So I'm very proud, and we should all be very proud of that. Currently, right now, since August, we've had about 2,200 students earn one of those 66 credentials. So we're looking at a banner year there with that. Also, our career coaches are a big part of that initiative. We have 3 career coaches who canvass, they're never in the office. They canvass our middle and high schools, preaching the gospel, I call it, about, career tech education and opportunities for our students. They have been so far in all 11 of our high schools, including the CTech campuses, and also several middle schools. Their work expands, again, 8th grade through 12th grade, but will go down to elementary and fast, where they tailor each presentation about career and tech ed to the audience. We also have a new initiative this year called Senior Access, where they work with covering CTE courses, credentialing, TOPS Tech Diploma Access, career exploration beyond high school, which is what we're really focused on, and also career interest inventories, but also we help them with FAFSA, college applications, resumes, all the things. And that's what we call senior success. Again, our coaches have met with one-on-one with 448 seniors since August of this year. That is in addition to every high school counselor meeting one-on-one with every student. So our students do have access to good and great career planning from that. Our college programs division, we're going to talk about Sewella, our STEPS program first. That's our full-time seniors who go to Sewella full-time. We currently have 30 of those with 336 credit hours earned to date this year for this school year. 23% of those students ended the semester, which is phenomenal, with a 3.5 or higher in a college level GPA, and 47% of those students with a 2.5 or higher. Two CPSB high school students will be participating in the STEPS program and are on track to already earning a Sewella Certificate of General Studies, which is phenomenal for those students. Our program at McNeese called McNeese College Prep. It's the largest number we've ever had in the history of our program, with 352 of our students earning a total of 2,651 college credit hours in this program. 56% ended with a 3.5 or higher. 32% ended with the 2.5 to 3.4. The most exciting news on this page, 10, the largest number ever, 10 of our students will be graduating or on track to graduate with their associate's degree from McNeese State University. So they were graduating from us and McNeese, 10 of them at the same time, and with an associate's degree. In our performing and visual arts area, we're very excited. We just got back from the state conference. In the visual arts, you'll see all the great art at the LSBA conference. I think we brag on that a lot, and we also have a lot of art in the Mayor's 326 art exhibit, and we'll get that information to you. But we had 32 of our high school students, which accounted for 5% of the high school all-staters, and 19 performing middle schools, which was 15% of the state's all-staters. We had 3 Louisiana Music Educators Standard of Excellence Awards go to the Sulphur High Wind Symphony and Matthew McMillan, the S.J. Welsh Band, Miss Eva Lorman, the S.J. Welsh Choir, Miss Carrie Crouch. 12 of our elementary, middle, and high school choir programs sent students to the ACBA All-State Choir. And our high schools and middle schools count for 66% of the District 5 Region Honor Band and Honor Ensembles. We had 8 state solo and ensemble gold medal recipients, 7 from Sulphur and 1 from Barb, which is a highly sought after competition, and our students did very well in that. And that is the update from Career Tech Ed, Visual and Performing Arts, and college programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we will hear from our elementary department with Administrative Director, Ms. Walona Jackson, and Director of Curriculum Instruction, Ms. Christy Russell.
Good evening. As you know, every year in elementary, we do adopt themes. And I know you all think it's because we want to wear the crazy costumes, all the things. Mr. Barrington, when he comes, he laughs because we're full gear, but it's not about that. We create the things because things create a sense of community, It allows for unity, and it allows for everybody to pretty much come together in a unified message. And that's what we try and do when we have over 30 elementary schools. That is one way that we can build that commonality. This year's theme was Mission 2026, Launching Lifelong Learning. We began our work with our mission, with the launch off in July. We started the minute the principals come back on campus, we pull everybody together and we start speaking priority. When we talk about those priorities, it's for that opportunity for everybody to understand that this is what we're speaking all year long. If it doesn't fit with those 4 priority areas, it does not belong in our work. We're really trying to make sure we're aligned, we're intentional, and everything is about student need. Those 4 priority areas, Ms. Russell's going to talk more about those. They are having a healthy core. We know that it starts with the core Tier 1 instruction. If our students truly are getting what they need in the basic subject areas, content areas, there's less of a need for intervention. We can catch them, the safety net model, we catch them in Tier 1. The second is that next layer. Then we look at acceleration. How do we move those kids that are already at benchmark or above? How do we keep pushing them? How do we either keep them there or push them even higher? And then we look at the other side, the intervention, kids that need a little bit more. Our third priority area is systems and structures, and that's pretty much about our instructional leadership teams and our teacher collaboration meetings. And the fourth is capacity building and empowered leadership. Last year, we talked a lot about how to get all of the teams together, everybody that's making up the instructional leadership team. This year was about empowering and getting strong in your part. What do you contribute to the whole? The main priority area that we're going to talk about is acceleration and intervention.
Thank you so much. So we're going to talk about student acceleration and intervention. So what we focused on this year is universal supports for all students. Okay, so we'll talk about our Tier 1 students. Acceleration for those students who are on level and above level. What does that look like? Supports that include acceleration in ELA and math, choice boards, Zearn, projects and inquiry-based tasks, extensions and enrichment activities. And for those students, we're giving opportunity to deepen understanding, promote independence, and extend learning beyond the core. Our Tier 2 and Tier 3 students, targeted interventions for those students who need support. They are performing below grade level or showing skill gaps, okay? So what does that include? Small group, needs-based instruction using high-quality instructional materials in all of our schools. Our Tier 2 students, moderate, skill-focused intervention, again, using high-quality instructional materials. Our Tier 3 students, those are our kids who need a little more intensive support. Individualized intervention with increased frequency and monitoring. And these supports ensure students receive the focused instruction necessary for growth. So we've done these things, we've talked about alignment. How do we ensure that we've done everything possible before we maybe have to make a referral or look to other supports? And this is something that we're very excited about. So this year, we worked with the SPED department and pupil appraisal to come up with an intervention fidelity checklist. And what we did is we worked collaboratively to have a checklist that ensures all appropriate supports have been implemented before beginning a referral. So basically what we're saying is we have done everything we can possibly do to meet the needs of our students. This shared system has strengthened our consistency, our transparency, and it's made us make student-centered decisions. This collaboration has been a major step forward in ensuring students receive every possible support. So we've been very excited about that. As Mr. Harvey said, we wanted increased school-based support. We're rolling all this stuff out. We need to be in the schools to support it, okay? So we made a commitment as a department to be more present in schools to support leaders, curriculum leaders, and teachers. As of today, Ms. Jackson, Ms. Pugh, our curriculum team and I have completed 695 support visits, demonstrating our strong commitment to hands-on instructional support across the district. And I would be remiss if I did not thank the leaders, the curriculum leaders, and the teachers for working collaboratively with us. So we're very excited. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm actually got a whole. I'm also going to bring up, first of all, I want to also give a special shout out to Ms. Pugh. I'm sorry. Ms. Pugh's in the back. I know she never wants any applause, but she does a lot of work behind football. I also want to bring up Principal of Henry Heights, Ms. Mikey Ferguson, for a second. We've been having lengthy discussions. I know Mr. Pichon has been a part of this discussion as far as making an adjustment in regards to the immersion program at Henry Heights. So I would like for you guys to get an update of some of the things we've been discussing. There has been no final decision, but I definitely want to keep you guys abreast of the conversations we've been having.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Mikey Ferguson. As principal of Henry Heights Elementary, my vision is clear: to close the literacy gap, meet the urgent needs of every student, and create a unified learning environment where all 320 of our children become fluent readers prepared for lifelong success. Henry Heights remains in a literacy crisis. In 2025, our school earned a D with an SBS of 55.5, 4 below the district average of 87.2 and the state average, reflecting stagnant growth over the last decade. Our reality is stark. 82% of our students are economically disadvantaged, yet only 27% read on grade level. Our assessment index for reading sits at an F, 41.9, and most concerning, our French immersion students consistently fall below DIBELS benchmark. Early reading proficiency is not negotiable. DIBELS benchmarks are proven predictors of LEAP success, yet our immersion students who receive English, ELA, and CKLA instruction continue to score below benchmark. When children are still learning to read and not yet reading to learn, language immersion in math, science, and social studies becomes a barrier and not a benefit. For struggling readers, receiving math instruction in French creates cognitive overload, diverting critical time and mental energy away from mastering foundational English literacy. Literacy is the great equalizer. It determines success, opportunity, and confidence across every subject and stage of life. If we do not fix literacy first, we cannot fix achievement. By prioritizing literacy readiness in the early grades and ensuring every child builds strong English reading skills before immersion, Henry Heights can finally turn the corner, align with district growth, and receive every student an academic foundation they deserve. My commitment is to lead that change urgently, intentionally, and with equity at the forefront. Our children can catch up, but if we start where all learning begins, it's with reading.
Thank you, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Ferguson? Mr. Pichon?
No questions, but I've looked through the numbers and they are alarming. And it's one of those things that it's hard for us to sit here and want kids to learn to read in French when we're failing them to teach them in English because we're trying to focus so much on the French part. And so there's a lot of stuff that may be coming, so I just want to make y'all aware. And if y'all ever need the information, I'm sure Ms. Ferguson will be more than happy to share it with you. It's definitely something we need to take a look at.
I would rather get beat with a stick with rusty nails than read. I mean, I'm dyslexic. I got my real low chemo's kicking in, reading level. But one thing that I've always done, especially when I had my agency, was to reward classes that outscored others when I did a little competitiveness. So what I'll do for you, what I did for where my kids are going to school. So if you have, do you rate them on a monthly basis, or how do you do your score? So in other words, what I'll do, like tonight when the school lets out, every month I'll reward the class that performs the best with a pizza party. You tell me how many you ordered, get whatever done, let me know how much I owe you, and I'll write you a check for it.
Yeah. Are you talking about the French immersion or just the general population?
In general,
So we use progress monitoring for that.
How do y'all do that?
And that's how we reward them, with the progress monitoring. Yes, and that's rewarded every 2 weeks. Tier 1 gets progress monitored every week. So they get rewarded on a weekly basis. Our Tier 2 is progress monitored every 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Okay. No, that's great. Thank you.
it worked, well, it worked there. We had a couple classes that were struggling, and when we started doing that,
Yes,
they all wanted that extra free, not to take away from educational time, but it motivates them to be able to do that.
absolutely.
And then some of those kids, they don't get that kind of stuff. If you monitor it, order it all, just let me know. I'll get you the money or bring it to you or
Thank you.
whatever.
I appreciate that.
I hate it. I mean, I used to, when you line up in class in the rows and everybody read a couple paragraphs, I get to the sentence, okay, really, that's enough. You ever see me read anything up, I've read it 5 or 6 times, I almost have to memorize it before I read it. So I get it. But that's, I hope it helps, if
Absolutely.
it's worth it, just let me know, and I'll get you a check or whatever it takes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any more questions?
So in hearing what you're saying in your French immersion school, I mean, I don't know if I need to just bring it up now, or is it something that y'all are gonna bring back to us later? Or, I mean, are we going to dismantle the French immersion program later? Is that the process? If they can't read, how are we gonna teach them French? And is that what you're looking to do eventually?
Eventually, not at the moment. We just wanted to make you guys aware of the discussions that was happening. It's not a final discussion. We definitely want to be able to continue analyzing some of the data that they pull before making a final decision. But we've also had conversations with Ms. Cummins on the World Languages Department and got her views as well. But this was more so just to kind of keep you guys abreast of what we've been discussing, not to make a final decision.
Not today. I mean,
I'm sorry, not today.
I mean, if you look at 27% reading at grade level, and we get 73% that's not. And so you only have 27% of your school that, in my opinion, would be suitable for your French immersion program.
Okay, so almost 2/3 of my French immersion students are Tier 3 in math and ELA. So according to the state, they have to have HD tutoring. It's mandated by the state. So they are getting pulled out an hour to receive tutoring in English and for math. And then they're going back to a math class that's being spoken in French.
Makes no sense. Thank you. I'm sorry if I brought it up too early or whatever, but it doesn't make sense.
Thank you so much to the elementary department. Anybody else have any questions? Moving on to our high school department, we're going to hear from Mr. Robert Peter, our administrative director of high school, and Ms. Tammy. You speak on this, okay. Mr. Peter.
Hey, good evening. Just briefly, I would like to share with you what's going on in high school in reference to our academic focus. Mr. Harvey spoke earlier about the performance score and how it's changing for next year. So some of the things that we've done, we understand that our performance score for us, what used to be worth 25% will now be worth 75%, and that's the LEAP focus. So we have done an intentional and succinct LEAP focus. One of the things that we've done is English 1, English 2, algebra, geometry, civics, biology. These are the LEAP tests that our kids are measured and scored on. That's now representing 75% of their performance scores. One of the things we quickly did was shift the amount of tests that our freshmen will now take. We're trying to reduce the number of tests that our incoming ninth graders will take. The other big shift is the achievement of mastery and advance, and the growth of half and the half achievement level for our tests. So those are, that's the LEAP focus that we've done, and we're doing we're focusing on 3 areas: our LEAP RTI, our Learn and Grow, and our Plan and Grow. Our LEAP RTI, we've built courses with the help of our consultants and our teachers across the district that focuses directly on these LEAP courses that has now changed and added, if you will, an extra opportunity for our kids to succeed in that area. There's a focus on growth and overall growth because we understand that we have the opportunity for all of our kids to grow. And that also increases the opportunity for their SPS to grow. We've gotten positive feedback from our teachers on our monthly Learn and Grow meetings. And this is what our monthly Learn and Grow meetings are. We're adding a PD for our teachers and our consultants by our consultants. So our consultants are every month conducting a PD by content, English, math, science, and social studies, where they are meeting with teachers all day long with PLC work, with extra work with their content, making sure that test alignments are going on. We have all of this in area to directly affect our LEAP focus. Data on that is each month approximately 150 LEAP and LEAP RTI teachers across 11 high schools and alternative sites collaborate. They ask questions, they provide input, they participate in professional development through a synchronous Zoom meeting with core consultants. And this has been actually tremendous for us. We've gotten a lot of good input, we've gotten a lot of good output from this, and our teachers are growing. And this is and it's not necessarily just for if you're teaching a LEAP course, all of their content, because we do have courses where the subject matter does not result in a LEAP test, but it's still a content area. So all our math teachers will be able to get this, so it allows them to be on the same page and be able to help each other. The other thing is, outside of the Learn and Grow, is the Plan and Grow. Okay, there's a focus on the importance of structured, collaborative teacher planning and a time to increase student growth. We do understand that even though our kids may not all score mastery and advance on their tests, all of them can grow. So our focus has been for every one of our schools to grow. The district has done a great job of helping teachers do this. J-Campus now offers and provides an opportunity for every teacher to see what their students' growth score is, what they need to grow. So again, we're being intentional, we're being succinct to make sure that teachers know how to move their students and how to grow their students. At our monthly principals meetings, there is a focus on school leaders taking on the role of the teacher to experience the complexity of curriculum materials and to emphasize the need for and importance of teacher planning time. So one of the things that we do at our monthly principals meeting is they are going to go through the 4 content areas of what it's like when they actually go into classrooms to observe teachers. As a principal, when I was a principal, if my content was not English, I didn't know what I was looking for when I walked into an English classroom. So monthly, they are professionally developed, they are professionally trained on what to look for, what type of exams to have. And this actually allows them to provide better feedback for their teachers so they can grow their teachers outside of their teachers' PLCs. And these are, again, our focus for high school has been the LEAP focus and the LEAP shift. And these are the things that we're doing to make sure that we meet the needs of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Also, just want to kind of piggyback on what Mr. Pete said. I've been a part of some of those professional developments with the consultants and the teachers, and I think that we're going to see great gains from that. Also, it's no secret with this new accountability, high school's probably going to get hit the hardest And so we have to do what we do best, which is focus on instruction. I think they've been definitely trying to be intentional about just focus on instruction and growing our teachers. So I appreciate the high school department. Thank you so much. Next up, we're going to hear from Ms. Wendy Hill, who's our Administrative Director of Special Services and Alternative Programs.
Good evening. I'm going to start with the Special Services Department. We are in alignment with CNI, and we're pushing hard to deliver the new literacy plan for the district. They're pushing hard across the district with Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction. I foresee overall the kids are growing. It's massive. It's a wonderful thing. It really hits me at my heart though, because finally middle and high school kids are being taught to read. It was always a challenge. They got to high school, middle school, high school, and there was no more reading education. So now it's really exciting because no one needs to be embarrassed. All of them are learning to read. With the strong Tier 3 and Tier 2 and Tier 3 plan, I foresee that our overall identification of special ed students to go down. We currently are at 21.5% of students with disabilities in Calcasieu Parish. 3.5% of those are 504, and 18% are students that qualify for special services. That's just under 1,000 for 504 and 5,500 special ed students, just to put some numbers for you. We have also had a successful implementation of a Life Academy program, which is a program that is for students with significant cognitive disabilities, and it's housed at McNeese State University, so they get the opportunity to be at a university as well. This year, we are at maximum capacity of 40 students. We project an additional 20 next year. The 40 students are currently on paid internships at no cost to the district. We also were chosen from LDOE to participate in a middle school to high school transition program from the state. The program is working with Calcasieu on how to successfully transition kids from 8th grade to high school. This program is being implemented at the current time, so we'll have some outcome of what that looks like next school year. For alternative, in all alternative sites, we have implemented the same CNI, that CNI has implemented the Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction for reading, the literacy plan. All of the alternative sites, we felt like if a kid can learn anything in an alternative site, they can learn to read. That's life-changing. Even students as little as 45 days in an alternative site has shown growth. I truly believe that this has been one of the years for the books, where everybody's learning to read. How positive is that? What a great outcome for our district. Special service and alternative programs are directly in line, like I said, with CNI and the literacy plan, and the hope is that all students will learn and grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. Definitely want to shed some light on Ms. Hill and her department. Obviously, this is our probably the most diverse department as far as dealing with issues and things like that. It requires a lot of flexibility. But I will say, I think that they've been doing a phenomenal job of trying to grow special education teachers. We know that they are rare. We know that they're not always well equipped, but they have been intentional for the last couple of years, just trying to be better in the classroom for our babies who need it the most. Next up, we're going to hear from our supervisor of special projects, Dr. Shauna Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share some documents with you guys. If you just take them as we go through. I am Dr. Anderson of the Special Projects Department. There are 3 primary areas that I service: partners in education. I deal with CIR, UIR schools and supporting those. And last but not least, literacy. So the Partner in Ed brunch, just a friendly reminder, is going to be next Thursday at 11:30. Just a friendly reminder to please RSVP if you are planning to attend. You will be in for a treat. I went to the Oak Park Middle Christmas program, and the music that came from the band was phenomenal. And so I felt, how can I not give you guys the opportunity to see the work that that band teacher is doing with the students, especially the orchestra. Great, great, great. So they will be our entertainment for the morning. Okay, so that's just a reminder for you. An update on our CIR, UIR schools and the support we are giving them. NIET is a vendor. They are the ones who actually, the state adopted the teacher and principal rubric from. They are the writers of those two rubrics. So we have contracted in with those folks in NIET to come in, and we go in and support the CIR, UIR schools. It's really the CIR schools that are our primary focus because they are our most needy schools. And what that looks and sounds like is the support specialist comes down and we meet with the leadership teams of those schools. And right now, our focus area is focusing on strengthening the instructional leadership teams so that they can begin helping to strengthen curriculum implementation in the classrooms. So that's where we are with them. We are doing a great job. The principals are doing a great job in working to strengthen curriculum. You heard a lot of people get up today and talk about when the core is strong, that's when true learning really takes place. The LDOE states that when less than 80% of your children are on grade level, and on grade level equates to mastery in the 4 core areas, when less than 80% are at mastery, we know 100% for sure we have a curriculum implementation problem. That means the way we're implementing the core instruction in the class from the Tier 1 curriculum needs some additional support. And so that's what we're doing with the CIR, UIR schools. Additionally, the state mandates that all CIR schools attend a school support institute that is put on by the LDOE in Lafayette. We just attended a session in a Friday in Lafayette, and the focus I heard Mr. Harvell, I hear this word in my sleep, align. The state is aligned with what we are doing with those SSI students, what they are doing during SSI in terms of strengthening ILT in order to strengthen curriculum implementation in the classroom. Okay. The next thing I want to speak to you guys about is one of the things you've heard many people come up and speak about, which is our CPSB Literacy Initiative. I just want to say that shout out to our leaders. You know, we often hear it starts with leadership. So shout out to Dr. Van Meter for staying so invested in with us with our literacy initiative. But a big shout out to Mr. Harvey because he was the one that called and said, hey, I really need to pick up the pace with our literacy, and we came up with a framework. So he charged me with, I led C&I with bridging elementary, middle, and high school departments so that we have one aligned literacy plan that tells schools when a child places at a specific level in LEAP, what the next step is in getting that child literacy support, if it is in fact needed. And it deals with DIBELS and SPIRE. So that's where we are with our overall literacy plan. And so with that being stated, that's why I have elementary, middle, and high. You'll notice I also have the alternative sites up there because now we have brought them full circle in with us. So if a child is struggling in literacy and for some reason they have to matriculate to the alternative site, their learning does not stop in terms of literacy. Well, we are able to pick up the ball and continue that learning in literacy with the students. I visited Westlake High School last week. Ironically, there was a sweet kid there And I got a call Friday and said, hey, he's now at one of our alternative sites. So I visited that site today. I said, hey, this is where that child is in RTI for reading. And that teacher is able to pick that child up where he was at his school site and bring him right along with where he needs to be. So that is the beauty of it. It's an aligned process that is across the district. So that is our literacy initiative. I'm very excited about it. One thing I want to read to you is a statistic. It comes from a meta-analysis, which is when you take a lot of peer-reviewed research and someone analyzes it all and gets a result. And so I now service JDC, our Juvenile Detention Center, where Calcasieu teachers are servicing those kids who are incarcerated for whatever reason it may be. And so this is why I am so heavily invested in literacy. Research shows a direct, powerful link between low literacy rates and the school to prison pipeline. In fact, over 70% of inmates function in the lowest literacy level, and 85% of juveniles in detention are functionally illiterate. So this kid, when I say he left Westlake and he's now at an alternative site, unfortunately, that is his alternative site, right? And I can tell you the kid is really struggling in literacy. So I went today and met with the teachers and said, we cannot drop the ball on him. If it's like Mrs. Hill said, if we can get him to read, y'all, we just won a piece of the war, right? So that is the beauty of it. And again, I would like to thank Mr. Harvey for charging us with that, because we are seeing some great results, especially in our alternative sites. So I gave you 2 pieces of paper. I will speak about high school first, and I want to shout out the elementary, middle, and high school folks, especially Mrs. Pugh, because I am middle and high school. My certification is really chemistry. I'm alt certified. My primary degree wasn't in education. And I tell you that because we in middle and high school are not trained to teach reading. That's just not what we typically did. We were typically core certified in whatever area you worked in. So if you taught chemistry, you had a chemistry certification, right? If you taught biology, it's biology. If you taught environmental science, I think where you get where I'm going, elementary folks were traditionally trained in reading too. That's not what we did. And I'm telling you that for you to know just how big of a lift this is for Calcasieu and for our leaders to push us to continue the work in. So this paper that I gave you speaks to high school. And high school is very complex to implement this in because of Carnegie units. But they all came on board. We recognized the need, and we started with our kids who were at the unsatisfactory and approaching basic level on their 8th grade LEAP test. So we tested 397 students. 397 were at unsat or approaching basic in English. And out of those students, 17.1% did not need support. So that means they were on grade level. Although their scores showed they were at unsat and approaching basic. Maybe they didn't try, maybe they weren't good test takers, whatever the case may be. We know that 24.6%, I think that's a 6, I don't have my glasses on, so I'll just say 24%, were tier 3. Our tier 3 students, back in the day when I was in school, I might be dating myself, we simply called this phonics. They don't know that A says A. They don't know that when read, the A is silent. So they really struggle with the foundations of reading. Those kids need our most intense support. So high school had 24%, and then I can't see that number again. I don't have my glass. I think it's 58. Is that what that is? 58% were tier 2, which means we support them in the core, right? So we began working with these high school, and this is hard for high school. They built a business English class to do this work in. And so you can see tier 3 down here, some of the progress we're making. We're not where we need to be, but we are on our way, right? It's better than doing nothing. I will tell you, I went to Westlake, LaGrange. We tried to go to Washington Marion, but the class had ended by the time we got there. And so you see the pictures on here. This is from a school this was Westlake actually. And so I wanted to put some faces to it for you. These are some of the kids we are supporting in literacy. It was a beautiful thing in the classroom. My kid who I spoke to you about earlier, he's not on there, but I would tell you he was very active in the classroom. And these are kids who would normally give us trouble, but in this classroom where we were supporting them with reading, they were all paying attention. It was great. In fact, they invited me to come back, and one gave me a seat right on the side of her. It's my new friend. So that was Westlake High. I encourage you, if that is your district, please go and support. The teacher there was phenomenal. You'll see she has a little duck thing that she decorates every season. This happens to be Mardi Gras. Sometimes he has on Christmas. She really creates the atmosphere for the children who are really needing our support in literacy. I also visited LaGrange High School. This teacher, Miss Lacey Burks, almost cried at the end when I talked to her and told her thank you. She got tears in her eyes because she too was seeing the progress we're getting with kids who are truly needing our support in literacy. And so shout out to Mrs. Morgan and her team. And finally, last but not least, I could not go, but I know Mr. Mansell at Washington Marion is also seeing those great results. So that is our literacy update. Again, I'm very proud of the initiative. We do have work to do and we recognize that, but we have started the process. Thank you. Any questions, comments, or suggestions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. Next up, last up, I'm gonna say the best for the last, where our foundations truly start. We're gonna bring up Dr. Jubert, who's over early childhood.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak briefly with updates in regards to the early childhood program. Our Ready Start Network supports children birth to age 4 across Lake Charles, Sulphur, DeQuincy, Iowa. We coordinate over 74 publicly funded early learning centers. Our focus remains consistent, improving both the quality of early learning experiences and access to high-quality seats for our families. This past year, we continue to see strong gains in quality across our network. 86.4% of our sites are now rated proficient or above, and 32% are rated high proficient or better. Our overall network performance rating rose again from 4.97 to 5.05, demonstrating consistent improvement over time. These gains reflect strong coaching systems, targeted professional development, and focused support for providers. Please remember, in our early childhood program, we support more than just CPSB. We support early learning centers as well. This year, we served over 2,036 publicly funded children from birth to age 4. Access is strong for our 4-year-olds, with 82% of our economically disadvantaged 4-year-olds being served, but we are fairly low in the age of infants and toddlers, with only 16% are being reached. One of our biggest accomplishments is that 269 more children were served in high-quality centers, while placements in lower quality centers did decrease from 44%. So just to give you a little insight in that, so our early learning centers, whether it be a CPSB school, Calvary Parish, Lake Charles Charter, our local type 3 childcare centers, we are all held to the same standard. So they, all of us do observations within the centers, as well as we do a measure in TS Gold. And so when we have centers that don't meet that standard, they are put into corrective action. And from there, once we put them on a plan, if they don't rise to the standard, they are removed. And so we're happy to say that we have centers that have either rose to the occasion and they've improved in their practices, or they're no longer part of our network. So just to give you a little insight there. This fall, our advisory board revisited our long-term direction. Our vision is that every child in Calcasieu Parish has access to high-quality early care and education and enters kindergarten ready for lifelong success. Our mission centers on building a collaborative network that supports families and providers across the parish. The board has established 3 measurable outcomes. Number 1 is to expand access so that 50% of our at-risk 3-year-olds can attend a high-quality program. Our second goal is to increase quality with 50% of our programs rated high, proficient, or better. And then our third goal is mobilize broad community support for early childhood efforts parish-wide. So what does that look like? How do we plan to accomplish those goals? Number 1, with expanding access for our 3-year-olds, we want to really do our best to do a partnership with our Head Start program, kind of supporting some of our local Type 3 centers to provide services to some of our children, as well as we have a partnership with the local United Way, Southwest Louisiana United Way, and they are working with us to provide local scholarships to families. Those scholarships would be ranked based on the need. So we would look at what the need is for that particular family to determine who would have access. But we are hoping that the state is going to match the money that is raised by the United Way, so that we can serve about double the amount of funding that we receive with seats for our children. This year, we're anticipating about $50,000 in local donations. And so we're hoping that the state will match that with $50,000, so we'll receive about $100,000 in funding. Number 2, to continue and strengthening quality through partnerships with Volunteers of America. Volunteers of America provides a lot of our training to our Type 3 centers, as well as in our Head Start program. And then we're also doing some targeted professional development through a company called LaForce. They do a lot of online training. So as you all know, local providers have difficulty pulling teachers out of the classroom because, as you know, most people need childcare. So a lot of the trainings are either in the evenings or they're on a Saturday, and so LaForce does a phenomenal job of doing that. A lot of it is online, but overall, we've had great success with participation. And then lastly, growing community partnerships with enhancing our advisory board engagement and collaboration with nonprofits, businesses, and civil organizations. We have several partners that have come on. We have representation from the city, as well as individuals that represent like our local children's museum that are part of our board, and they're doing a phenomenal job of just kind of supporting us with acquiring funding. So in closing, in summary, our network is seeing steady growth in quality, meaningful expansion of access to high quality seats, and stronger collaboration across the network. We appreciate the ongoing support with our partners, providers, and our advisory board as we continue to work toward meeting our outcomes for Calcasieu Parish's youngest learners. So thank you. Any questions? Yes.
You mentioned high quality and low quality centers. What determines high quality and low quality centers?
So it's based on their class observation scores. So we have a rubric that we use, and we look at the interactions between the children and the teachers. So we're not really looking at the quality of the curriculum that they're using. All of our centers, though, are required to have a Tier 1 curriculum, and we provide that for them through the network. But we typically, when we're doing observations, we're looking at the language that is being used by the children, how the teacher responds to the children when they have needs, those types of things. We have a rubric. We do 4 20-minute cycles in the classroom. So it's a 2-hour observation for teachers and students. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. So in closing, I've obviously heard a lot of glows that's happening in our district, but I want to be transparent and make sure we talk about some of the grows as well. Some things that we are focusing on and trying to be a little bit more intentional for the remainder of this academic school year is our customer service. We are realizing that we're not a perfect department, but at the same time, we're trying our best just to be transparent and supportive. But we also have issues as well that we deal with from administrators to teachers to parents and things like that. So we are trying to improve our customer service, and that comes through building relationships. We realize we've gotten a lot of, not say a lot, but we had several teachers kind of voice their opinions about things that could be better. We pushed out several surveys to several schools, so we've gotten a lot of feedback. So we're hoping to turn that into action to be able to just get quicker responses and put out more fires a lot quicker. Like we talk about RTI for students, but we got to have RTI for us as response to issues. So we definitely try to work on that. But that concludes my report.
Okay, I think that's it. Do I have a motion to close? Second. All in favor? 10-minute break. Yeah.
Take a while. Okay, thank you.
No, I just did that one time. So no response is a response. Is a response. Never responded. You do, that's the order, so I feel like we're getting the first step. Hi. Yes, the key. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to put back into it. I know the kids were like, I didn't get all the way into it just because I know she's going to. And I want to call. That's what she did. Really? Thank you. And I'll see you soon. Yeah. Really? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's so tonight. I'm so sorry.
Call this meeting of the Budget Fiscal Management Committee meeting to order. Get a roll call.
Cody Bannon.
Here.
Mary Ponto.
Here.
Linda Gay. Phyllis Dale.
Present.
Dr. Washington.
Present.
Desmond Wallace.
Here.
Russell Castillo.
Here.
Sean Baumgarten. Aaron Natale. Board members, Karen McCarty.
Here.
Eric Tarver. David Hardesty. Dean Roberts. And Billy Bro. We have 4.
All right. First item on the agenda is salary schedules, and we have a blue card. Terry Johnson.
Good evening, short and sweet. Thank you. We have gone from 97 steps. Now it's readable. It's not perfect, but it will never be perfect. We can't pay teachers what they're worth. But at least they can read it and find out how much they're supposed to make instead of looking at 97 convoluted numbers all jumbled up. So thank you very much for this effort. Dr. Van Meter, excellent job. Dennis, excellent job. Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. Ben?
Does anyone have any questions on the documentation?
Yes, just a quick question on it. Now, does this salary schedule, is it based on the Lean Frog report or anything throughout based on Lean Frog?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes. Using Leapfrog data to compile this.
okay,
And this is still a work in progress. We're not,
okay.
this is not,
So the salary schedule for, the teachers, but any of the other areas other than teachers, like your staff, is that also based on it throughout?
yes, exactly. We just included the teachers in this particular document. And the other documents reflect a drawdown of the steps to go down to 30 steps to show, what the additional pay would be for those that are limited now to 20 or so steps, 22 or so steps.
Any other questions? So it's still a work in progress, it says, so, at what point will we be adopting the salary schedule?
So we're required to adopt it before the beginning of next year. So we're thinking, we'll have to have this ready by May.
No,
We would like you, if possible, to adopt this tonight, because here's what we have to do. Every one of the people that we're gonna touch, we have to touch each one of these. And so to get everybody done by the time it's time to roll, is gonna be a task. I told you that we would have this to you winterish, right? This week is pretty winterish, yeah. So here we are. The two things that we were charged with doing at first is basically getting a teacher salary schedule that was readable. And then the second is the 22 going up to 30. We did that for everybody. If you look on the data we have for you, or the charts we have for you, we did it for all the support staff going up from 22, bringing them all out to 30. Basically based on the last 5-year average of the increase. So that's what we're doing. So if possible, we would like that tonight so we can start working. Mr. Schneider would like to get this rolling if possible so that we can have everything ready for roll. But what will happen, Mr. Ben's right, we're gonna come back to you with the finalized book that even after you adopt tonight, you'll know how we normally bring you the book. We'll bring you the book back with all this data in. So he's right, and then we still gotta make the book.
Questions?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the salary schedule.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Washington, second by Ms. Funk. Okay. Do you have a question? Yes, do you have a question?
On the, where it says current work in progress, teacher 182 at 2000 match, 25.
Can you use your microphone?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Current work in progress, teacher 182 at 2000 match. So does that mean that step one, we're gonna add $2,000 on top of what's written right there?
Well, no, this is really based on the current year schedule. This is like the current year schedule is converted to what we plan on presenting for next year. But of course, depending on what happens at the state level with regard to the election that's coming up and what may happen there, so on and so forth, that may change. So these are not necessarily the numbers that we will present to you in the future. This represents, the methodology that we're using to create the new salary schedules.
It has the 2,000 in it already.
How'd y'all come up with the difference in the steps? Like say, last year, it's always been 200 even for every step there was. This looks like it's 225, and it gets to 300, and it gets to 400.
Yes, sir. And so you'll notice it does change as you get more years in. That was one of the things we thought was important, but also this is gonna cost, right? And I kind of told you that before, it costs a significant amount because when we go from 97 steps, right, down to 47, there's a reason it wasn't, 30 or 40, because it costs the more we crunch it down because the steps get more. And so, as we went through, what we wanted to do was reward a teacher who was here a little bit longer. So you're gonna see those steps are gonna be a little bit bigger the longer they get here. Does that make sense?
And step one means.
Yes, sir, roger that.
What is that called, steps?
I mean, we could, if you would like it to say years, I bet we could probably, we could probably change that if that's what you would like. I think we're kind of now ingrained with the steps, but if that's what you want, we can do that. We're gonna leave it. Yeah, we do need to leave it on the support staff side because, for example, on administrators, right? Years don't always equal steps. Sometimes they'll come in with a couple more steps depending on what their degree is and stuff like that, because we don't get points for degrees. So, and then after that, every step is a year. That make sense? This was a task, y'all, and this was a lot of meetings and folks in the room and trying to get this ironed out. Again, I would like to point out, this will cost you about $1 million, right? You're looking at about $1 million with the teacher salary schedule, about $250,000 with the steps on the support side. So we need to figure that into the budget as well. This is coming out of, this is salaries and benefits. And so however you want to do that, we do have ways to pay salaries and benefits, but $1 million a year is nothing to sneeze at, but also this project is nothing to sneeze at. I think everybody in the room understands it's important. It's awful difficult as a principal to have somebody come and sit down with you. Let's say they're transferring in from somewhere. Hey, how much am I going to make as a teacher? Yeah, I have no idea. Right? I can give you a ballpark. At least with this, we're going to be able to. So.
I am glad to see that the 20-year plus or 22-year plus employee gets a little bit of an increase in pay, and we're going up to 30 years now, or 30 steps on that.
Thank you.
So that is a plus, and I think this is a very much, as Ms. Johnson said, a very big improvement, and I think we can continue improving based off of this.
One thing I will point out, it was asked, we started asking, how did we do this before? Because I think it was 17 steps before? It was 22? How did they do that? How did they go from 17 to 22? And the answer was, what they allowed folks to do was continue to walk. So for example, if you've got 24 years right now and you're currently at step 22, then next year we would let you walk to 23 and then 24 and 25. We don't just bump you straight to it, right? So the logic was, however we did it last time, we would probably try to do it the same way. I don't know how many years it went from 17 to 22, but it was, Mr. Bourne remembered it. We asked him. So just letting y'all know that too. All right, so I did want to point out the cost of this as well, that we need to make sure that we're transparent with y'all with that too. Okay, I told you it was going to be expensive. It is. Not quite as much as I thought it was going to be, but still pretty expensive.
I think it's money well spent. If it's possible, I would like it, I realize some of them have to say steps, but I guarantee you, it'll simplify this process if we can put a year instead of a step.
Yes, ma'am. So how about we do that for you for the teachers?
Yes.
Roger that.
Yeah, the
We
ones
can-
that we can't
I bet-
do a step,
I bet we can, let me do that for you for the teachers. We'll handle that. And what we can do if you'd like, is we could just make that change for you when we bring it to you, full board. Did y'all wanna, is that something y'all have to amend?
let me
I can do it for you.
So if a teacher comes from out of state.
Yep.
And they have 20 years.
Yep.
They get 20 steps.
No, that's what she wants is to have it say years. We could do that.
No, but if it says years, they already have 20 years in Texas, they're gonna come in and want the 20 years here.
Yeah, but that's how we do it.
Is that how we do it?
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, and to be honest with you, that's what we want, right? We want new teachers too, Mr. Hartsey.
I'm just,
Yeah, Roger that. That's what we want. And that was the hardest part of sitting down with somebody.
With service credit to yourself, when somebody starts off, they don't start off with one. You're really zero until you finish that first year.
So should the first year be zero?
We can,
I'm just throwing that out there.
we can make that change.
If we put year one to ourselves, it's not gonna have one. So it might be.
We can make that change.
So the first year teaching needs to be year zero.
That's fine, yeah. That's the level.
All right, so I'm gonna say yes on that, but understand too, that for example, when I look in, didn't know this question was coming up, so I'm having to answer on the fly here now. I look in, for example, EFIN, right, and it doesn't line up until it rolls, right? So, my number would be 0 in EFIN until it rolls on a first year teacher. Okay.
Lafayette was
Okay.
0.
All right. That's not gonna change the cost, and that's not gonna change the overall spirit of what we're doing. But we can definitely do both of those two things pretty. Yep. Okay. We good, Mr. Bennett, on that? Yeah. Let me see, Mark.
When do you expect to bring it to the board?
Here's what I really like. Well, first of all, we're gonna be able to make these changes and have it to full board, right? Because this is an action item, so we can have it to full board in a couple weeks, right? What that would allow us to do is allow Mr. Snyder and his team, Jenny Lee, folks like that, to start making changes so that when it comes time to roll, everything's ready to roll, right? We would still, like I said, we would still bring you back the salary schedule book like we always do, right? You would still get that. The complete thing to approve, but it would look like this with the changes that you approved. But that would give us a chance to get all of our touching of the individual people done before we have to actually press a button and roll in July.
I don't know. Yeah, so I apologize. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm looking at the old schedule, or the current schedule now, plus this one, right?
Okay.
The one y'all just gave. So a person that has, 4-step adjustments, for a certificate of endorsement for educational leadership, how does that?
Yeah, so what would have to,
quantify this?
Roger that, so what would have to happen?
The number of years.
Yeah, so it doesn't. And so what would have to happen is we would just break that out as, hey, this is gonna, an ed leader endorsement is gonna give you X number of dollars. That's the way it used to be. And that's kind of essentially what it's doing with degrees as well, right? Is it's just giving you X number of dollars per degree.
So this will be a different line item?
We would be able to just have you adopt a different line item at the bottom.
Okay.
So, and if you want, we can add a line item that says, that may be something we forgot about, on the ed leader adoption, to have, the same jumps on those, as if, for example, you're getting $500 for a ed leader, I don't remember what the ed leader jump is, then we'll give you the same jump. We can do that, and that's an easy enough line item adjustment at the end, and easy enough for everybody to break out and see, because it's not hidden within the number of steps.
4 steps, so I'm assuming that's $800.
Yeah. Okay. If it's $800, then we can make that adjustment $800 on there broken out.
Okay.
If that's something we forgot, I don't remember if it's on there or not, or we had it as a line item.
I just want to make sure that if the teacher sees this, they're gonna only get paid for whatever they have as far as their steps go.
So that's the other thing that that's one of the things why it took this long, to be honest with you, is we had wizards that went through and looked at everybody to see how much this would move, because people can't go down. So we knew those folks couldn't go down. They had to at least stay where they were. And then we had to take that person and if they were going to be on this step, we had to bump them up that much. And then the step was, this step was only going to be $200, but this step was going to be $350. And so the difference is $150, those types of things. So we had to look at each person. So our people won't go down.
More discussion.
Just one quick question, Dr. Van Meter. If I remember correctly, and ask questions about that. But the last salary schedule for supervisors and up stopped at year 22.
So that's what I'm telling you, we did everybody on the, if you look in there, we did everybody on the support side that stopped at 22 and brought them to 30. So that includes supervisors, that includes principals and APs, right?
Administrative directors and all.
Administrative directors don't, they're set. Administrative directors don't have a scale. I think they are a flat scale similar to a director, risk manager, folks like that have a set scale and they don't walk at all. So we didn't touch those.
Okay, so did that $1 million include the adjustments for those people
Yes.
as well? Okay.
Well, no. So the $1 million is for teachers, right? The $250,000 is for the walking out from 22 to 30. It includes those people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they are included, just not in the million. They're included in the 250.
I know we discussed it, but just to clarify, you have to make sure nobody went back.
Nobody is going backwards.
Any more discussion? We have a motion, second. All in favor? Ayes have it.
Item number 2, that's for informational purposes. It's an update on the $50 million fund, capital projects fund status. There've been a lot of requests with regard to how much money I have in my account for the $50 million, and that tells you what the balances are. That was all we were trying to communicate with that. Any questions? Moving on to number 3, then the Riverboat Fund. That is also an update on the status of those documents. I start off with the balance sheet as of the end of December. One of the things to remember when you're looking at that restricted fund balance is that we do have a bit over $2 million to spend this year for debt service. The state did allocate $660,000 and we usually stick it in the Riverboat Fund. That comes out of Racino money, which will be in addition. We have drawn that down. We still have to request that money. The other sheet is to give you an idea of, what the revenues have been over the period and so on and so forth, what to expect. And that's how we arrived at that total fund balance of $4 million plus as of the end of December. And I attached the debt service schedules showing how much we have left to pay on the outstanding debt in the Riverboat Fund. Any questions?
So what you're saying is we have cash and investments of 4.1, but of that, 4 million, 4.1 is basically all restricted, right?
Yeah.
Fund balance is restricted to 4,099,000.
Right. As a capital projects fund, it's the balance is always restricted.
Okay. So where does the $2 million that we're gonna pay, where does that come from?
Well, it'll come out of that, but there's also the revenue that we're going to receive over the course of this year, because we're only halfway through the year.
And we received about 2.6 million roughly average over the last 10 years.
That's right.
We've talked about it a little bit before. You may know or you may not. And not tonight, but I'm just kind of curious how we came out on the short end of this stick on the riverboat funds. Like you look at the city of Lake Charles, the police jury, and then you come all the way down the list, and we're down at the bottom. Was that unconstitutional?
Well, they have a formula, and they just, based on that formula that was adopted, that is how they distribute the riverboat collections.
I was just curious, I mean, because I get asked all the time, riverboats that was supposed to all be for education, and,
Right.
you look at the payoff.
Yeah, it's,
So, anyway, no.
yeah. And when we receive those distributions, there is the calculation the police jury does, so if you ever want to see that, we'd be glad to get that to you.
Questions? All right.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned?